Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have a very cool Schleich set to take a look at. As you can see, we have a gigantic kind of a volcano playset that includes a human figure as well as two different brand new repainted dinosaurs, which I am very interested in seeing. We have a repainted version of the Ankylosaurus and a repainted version of their Giganotosaurus, which I actually have recently reviewed here on the channel. So two brand new variants of those figures, and again, a really cool looking play set here to take a look at. As far as the box art goes, it's pretty much like what you would expect as far as Schleich goes. Really nice, very flashy, very appealing looking box art with, again, a nice very large image of the set here on the front. Dinosaurs with the Schleich Tyrannosaurus Rex up there kind of chomping through the O, and then the Schleich logo up here in the right hand corner. As far as what else the box has on display, we have an image over here of the human character, and then down here, again, the Ankylosaurus, which it's not focusing on right now, and then dinosaurs yet again. And then if we turn it all the way around, here on the back, we have an image of what is included, which is apparently a ton of stuff, as well as some images showing off the playability of the set here to the right, and then an image down here on the bottom showing off quite a few of the other sets that are currently out from Schleich, some of which we have reviewed already, like the pterosaur sets there, some of which we have not reviewed quite yet, like the Giganotosaurus set to the bottom left, and then the Brachiosaurus set here to the bottom right. So stuff we will hopefully get to at some point in time, but I'm very excited to check this stuff out. So let's pop this box open and take a look at it right now. So there was quite a bit of assembly required, and I think that's actually one of the more fun aspects of these Schleich sets, is the fact that you actually have to put them together most times, and it actually gives you something pretty fun to do for, for this one specifically. It was quite the extended period of time. There was definitely a lot to put onto this set, and it actually is really, really cool now that it's put together. And I will say that if my son was a little younger, this would be an incredibly awesome set to buy for him. So if you happen to have kids that are into dinosaurs, this is a huge recommendation for me, because I definitely can say with complete confidence that kids will love this set for sure. But again, my son would have been head over heels in love with this had he, got this when he was a little bit younger. But as you can see, we have all of it put together, and it's actually so large I had to take the backdrop that I had back here out from behind it just so that I can display this. It's so big. The backdrop there that I usually put behind the, figures and stuff that I review was just kind of getting in the way and preventing me from putting the entire thing here in front and center. So it had to go for a little walk temporarily until after this review. But on top of this super cool looking volcano area that we have here, we also have, again, the brand new Giganotosaurus. We also have a brand new Ankylosaurus, and by brand new I mean they're just repaints of previously released Schleich figures. They're not actually new sculpts, but they are really cool new paint variants of those figures. We also have a human character as well, and then we have quite a few volcanic rocks and stuff down here. We actually have some more. If we go over here and bring those in, we've got even more, some of which you can see light up, and then we also have a few more. So we've got all sorts of volcanic rocks that do have kind of a playability factor with them when it comes to the different things that you can do with this set, which is, an even more exciting aspect of this set. So what we're going to do right now is jump to a closer look at the dinosaurs themselves and the human character, and then we're going to go ahead and check out the volcano play set as well. So starting with the new paint variant of the Giganotosaurus. Now both of these figures we have actually reviewed sculpt-wise in the past with their initial releases, but these ones again are brand new paint variants. So basically what we need to look at is what's new with these figures over the previous releases, and again that would be the paint scheme. So what you can see here for the Giganotosaurus is that it actually has a really cool reddish paint scheme to it, but it also has some very nice variations of like orangish yellows and stuff. You can see that here in the palette area of the Giganotosaurus, and you can see again that we do have a very nice reddish coloration for the majority of the face. You have a beautifully painted eye with a very nice bright yellow, and I think the fact that that eye is so bright, it really nicely plays off of that darker reddish coloration that we have there in the face for the Giganotosaurus. So it shines quite nicely. You can also see the teeth are painted with a white coloration, and when we get inside the mouth, the tongue is painted with a red. I think that may have been the same color as the previous release, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure, but Regardless, it definitely looks nice and realistic. Of course, the sculpt is beautiful. I just, again, recently posted a review of this stating how much I really like the sculpt of this Giganotosaurus, even though it's not your most accurate interpretation of a Giganotosaurus. It's a really cool, very flashy looking version of one. And you can also see, again, we have a little bit more of that red down here in the lower jaw, but then it transitions to kind of like a dark yellow. But you can also see like some hints of oranges included as well. And the figure does have that trademark Schleich dark wash. You can really see it down here on the underside of the figure, which I love. Absolutely love when Schleich includes those dark washes. Once you start to lead back into the body, you start to see some darkened areas. Like you can see some darkening up here, so it's not quite as light as far as the red goes that you see in the face. And you see that throughout the course of the body. Like there's not any type of a dramatic, crazy, flashy paint scheme for it. Just basically a lot of really nice dark and lighter tones of red. And you can see, again, just really subtle areas that they've added it, like right above the hip region. You can see it coming down here in the neck region. And then you can see it transition very smoothly to that yellowish orange coloration here for the underside and the stomach region and stuff. You can also see a little hint of it kind of creeping through in the thigh right there. But then again, right down here in the calf, and then down into the feet, you can see that it's very nicely displayed down there in the feet as far as that coloration goes. And you do have a little bit of that red that runs down onto the feet, but you can see it also has a mixture of that yellow included within. Even some of that red shows up on the underside a little bit. You can see it right there. And the same deal as we lead out into the tail. Again, super nice, super smooth transition between that red to the yellow coloration there. And again, that dark wash really ties all of the paintwork together quite beautifully. You can really see how nice and abundant the wash is on the underside. Again, it's not overly strong as far as the application of it goes. It's honestly like a perfect dark wash application. And you can also see that the nails are painted with a I'd say a black, so it's definitely a black, not a dark gray. I thought initially it was a dark gray. It kind of looks like a dark gray in certain lights, but I'm pretty sure it's actually a black. Dew claw is painted there as well. Again, you can take a look at this side of the head. Really cool looking paint scheme that they've given it, and I do like the reddish coloration. I think all of the tones of color that they've chosen for the figure are definitely nice and natural looking. And the ridges that run along the back are actually a lighter tone of red, which you may not even pick up on. I honestly didn't until I actually got the figure here and I took a look at it from up above. You can really see how it's a really nice lighter red that runs along the ridges on the back. I actually thought it was just that same dark red. And now looking at it and actually paying a little more attention to it, you can definitely see a pretty nice difference between those darker and lighter reds. But really cool looking Giganotosaurus, and I'm super excited to have now a third version of this figure in my collection. Definitely another fun repaint. And then we've got the Ankylosaurus, and previously this figure has only had one release, so this is the second time now with a brand new paint variant. Previously it was more of a yellow coloration. This time we have a very nice greenish coloration, and again, just like with the initial Ankylosaurus release, we have that very nice dark wash, and also just like the Giganotosaurus we saw a moment ago, but you can see the dark wash is beautifully done, and I love the fact that they've applied the dark wash to this figure because that scale detail is picture perfect for a dark wash. So the wash applied really makes all of the scale detail of this figure pop in such a nice realistic way. You can see that the mouth is, of course, wide open on our Ankylosaurus, and you can see the inside of the mouth is painted with a tone of purple, and the beak itself has been given a very nice off-white. You have the eyes that are also very nicely painted, also nicely glossed, so they shine quite realistically. And then as you move back into the body, we basically just have different variations of greens, and they don't look like they really have any specific like design to the way that they're applied. They just kind of transition back and forth quite sporadically in different areas. Like you can see it's really nicely lighter out here on the tail leading out into the club tail, but then there's like some very nice areas of darkened greens here on the back and even down here on the side. The underside also sports the lighter green, and you can really see how nice the wash looks now here on the underside, beautifully applied. The nails also have that same kind of an off-white that we see for the beak right there on the face of the Ankylosaurus. And that's honestly about it as far as coloration goes. I actually feel like maybe I'm picking up on a few very light hints of some browns here and there, but I think maybe the dark wash used is a mixture of a black and then in some areas maybe given a brownish wash, because I could definitely see some hints of browns, like a little bit of a brown out here on the club tail for the Ankylosaurus. But I really think it's, again, another very cool looking version of the Ankylosaurus from Schleich. Definitely happy to have an alternate repaint of this figure as well, because I really liked the original one, so another version of this is always a-okay with me. And I think the only thing that maybe could have improved the figure would have been painting these larger armored, like scoots along the back, but that's really about it. Otherwise, I think it's a very cool figure, and again, a really nice natural looking paint scheme tied together with a beautiful Schleich dark wash. And then we have our human character, and this time we have a female. The last few times that we've had these kind of Schleich playsets, they were all males, so it's nice to have a female this time. You can see she has some very nicely sculpted out and painted hair. The eyes are also really nicely done. You can see the eyebrows are present, and then you also have some very nice coloration for the lips. And as we move down, you can see she's wearing a purple shirt. There are some nice creases and stuff within the shirt so that it looks very nice and realistic, not any type of a generic human figure by any means. And then as you move down a little bit further, you can see the hands are very nicely sculpted, and you can see the pants as well. And I like, again, that you can see creasing within the clothes of our human character throughout. You can see it really abundantly throughout the course of the shirt. If we let the light hit it, you can really see how nice the very subtle creases and stuff in the shirt are. So it looks like it's genuine clothes on her. And then again, same deal here with the pants. There are just some areas that sport some really nice creasing and stuff, and I really like that aspect of the figure. And then she, of course, has boots. We can actually take her out of that little plastic stand that she was in. You can see she is wearing boots, of course, being someone associated with dinosaurs out here in a jungle or a volcano area somewhere. You're going to want to wear boots probably, so she, of course, is doing just that, wearing some nicely done boots with a black coloration. There isn't any type of crazy dramatic paintwork for the figure, but what we do have is actually really nicely done. Everything looks nice and very precisely applied throughout. And then, of course, you do have articulation for your human figure, as you have articulation in the arms and then in the hips as well. So you do have some articulation, not any type of a crazy amount, but definitely some. And we do also have articulation in the Giganotosaurus jaw, which I showed you, but I didn't exactly mention that aspect. And of course, it works very smoothly, like it has on every one of these Giganotosaurus figures so far. And then we have our gigantic volcano-like playset, and this is just loaded with different things that you have to assemble and put together to get the final product. And basically what you have is, again, a very cool volcano-like area, which also sports some caves as well as kind of like a research station right here. But at the same time that it kind of looks like a research station, it's also got some artillery up here to protect yourself from whatever dinosaurs are roaming nearby. And you can see, as far as the actual, rocky area of our volcano goes, it looks really nice. It has lots of cracks and crevices, beautifully textured appearance to it. And then you also have the lava that runs down, which it starts up here. And you can see that the lava itself runs down the entire course of the side and then continues underneath this kind of little bridge right here. And then you can see some rocks and stuff included within. Runs all the way down here to the ground, and that as well looks really cool. It's got a beautiful red translucent type of a look and some very nice detail included within the entire way up. So it has a very, very appealing look to it. You also have some vegetation that shows up here and there throughout. You also have this kind of vine-like area here that covers up one entrance to the cave, which I think was a pretty cool idea. And then as we move this, actually, if I can find the right spot to kind of slide it along, you can see now that we again have some more vegetation over here. And then moving up into the actual research station, this type of area that we have here, we have a weapon right up here that does shoot its dart right there. And you also have an area here that holds some other darts that you can use to then shoot whatever dinosaur you are looking to protect yourself from. And then down here, again, in the actual research station, you've got a little control area right here, which does sport some pretty cool stickers on it. If we turn it here, you can see that we've got some stickers and everything showing us basically what we're doing. We've got some stuff that would be underneath, like a microscope and some books and stuff like that down there. We'll push that back over there. We do have a window here in the front, of course, that you can see straight through. And then the entire thing has a really cool metallic look to it, which continues to add elements of really fun realism to the set. And then if we move along here, we actually, up here, there are some buttons, which we will get to very soon. You can see how there's kind of a slope right here so that we can release one of those volcanic stones down that. And then you can see a cave over here. Again, we have some more vegetation here right on the outer edge of the cave. But the cave itself is kind of where the Giganotosaurus lurks, it seems, so that's, I guess, his home. Maybe not the smartest place to build a research station is right above the home of a Giganotosaurus, but you can see as we come down here, there's almost like these like tooth-like rock formations that come down along the outer edge of it, giving it a very nice ominous appearance. Again, a little bit more vegetation over here on the side, and I really like the aspect of having an area where you can take your Giganotosaurus and kind of hide him in there. And then here we go, we'll put him in, so you can see how he's basically living in his cave, about to come out and spoil whoever, I guess, which would be our female character's plans of researching the dinosaurs or whatever it is exactly that she's doing here. That Giganotosaurus has some very evil plans for her. And then as we move along a little bit further, again, you can see some more of that vegetation and stuff right there. You can see all of the other areas as far as the different views that we have for the set. And there's also this little lever here, which I believe potentially throws some of those rocks out from the top right here, which we will try in a moment. I'm terrified to lose them, but we'll see what happens, I guess, because I've kind of got a lot of dinosaurs and stuff around here. But again, you've got some really cool detail included. You also have like some rocks and stuff that run along the ledge here. Of course, those are non-removable. That's just part of the set itself, but they look really cool and continue to add elements of realism to the set. So as a whole, it looks awesome. So let's go ahead and check out some of the actual action features of the set. So again, we do have some buttons over here on the side, which are going to basically set off some lights on our set here. So if we push the top one, look at how cool that looks. You could even get the effect of the lava running down the front here thanks to those lights. You can see it lighting up here. Maybe if I actually turn these lights down, might be a little bit more visible. We're not going to turn them down all the way, but you can see how cool it looks and how the lighting effect really adds a very cool playability standpoint to the set, and also just makes it a lot more appealing if you ask me. There's also this button down here, which you can quite clearly see what that does, and that is so incredibly cool. So of course it gives you a very prehistoric sound, as well as some dinosaur noises, and you can also see that there was some steam that came out of the top of the volcano. There is an area underneath this particular section of the volcano that includes some battery compartments, and then an area to include water so that you can load that up to, you know, give it that really cool effect. I think that was such a cool idea on the part of Schleich, and on top of everything, it adds an even cooler playability standpoint to this set. Again, like I had stated earlier, my son would have absolutely adored this set if he were just a little bit younger, or had I discovered this set when he was younger. And then of course we have our weapon, and you can see the weapon can move up and down. You can also spin the weapon, and then you can shoot the weapon, which I'm going to try to not lose this, you know, dart that we have here. But if we shoot the weapon, and that is gone. No idea where that went, but you can see that went sailing, took out the Giganotosaurus over here, so it definitely has some very fun force. And of course you have some extra ammunition right here to continue to load up your weapon, but it again can do a complete 360. You can spin it all over the place, go up, down, so lots of fun stuff that you can do with that. Certainly a gigantic playability standpoint with what, again, I would imagine would be hours of fun for any kid, but even as an adult collector, I'm completely enjoying every aspect of this set. So there's also an area here where you can set a stone, and then once you let the stone go, ooh, that came way too fast. I almost couldn't even follow it. I wasn't quite prepared. So we'll go out a little bit further, and you can see it's kind of sporadic as far as where it goes. You never really can tell exactly where it's going to go. I feel like it definitely has the potential to completely run down the entire side, and I'm taking all kinds of stuff out here over in the side, but again, it's definitely very, very cool as far as that goes. Maybe if I actually put that in there, maybe it'll send it down. Let's try that again, see if it goes the right way. Now it keeps getting stuck, but my area here isn't exactly the most level area in the world, so that could be why. But on top of that, you can also take your human character, and you're going to slide her in here. If I can get her in. And now if you heard, she plops out here on the underside. So that's basically, actually, I don't even know where she went now at this point. Oh, she's over here, so she ends up in this cave. So that's basically, I guess, an escape area for her. So say a dinosaur is coming to get her, whatever, she can run over here, slide down here, and if we let her go, if I can get her in there, now she's someplace else. I'm not sure where she went. She's in here somewhere. There she is. So she can escape that way and completely come down here to, again, drop down into this cave and escape the dinosaur attacker. I'm knocking stuff over, but I wanted to show you guys inside. You can see there's actually some crystals hanging from the top of the cave as well. So Schleich really has outdone themselves as far as how cool this set really is, and so much involved. There's honestly a ton included in this set. And then, like you can see here, I stated earlier, there are two different of these, volcanic stones. Now it went out right there, but you can see there's two different volcanic stones that actually include lights inside them. Schleich supplies you with the batteries to include in these, and then they do light up. They're kind of on like a timer where they'll stay lit for so long, and then they'll just turn off themselves. So it's not something you need to worry about, how are you going to turn it off? There's no actual area to do that specifically. They're on a timer. They will go out on their own. But on top of all of that other fun stuff, there is a lever over here. Now, I'm very concerned to push this because, yet again, I don't know where everything's going to go. So maybe I'll try to block the abyss over here on the side of the table where things will disappear. So let's do that really quickly. So we've blocked it potentially. Maybe we'll be okay. And we're going to go ahead and launch these and see what happens. So you can see basically the stones erupt from the volcano and they just fly everywhere. Some are down here, some are on the floor, some ended up over here. Who knows? They're all over the place. But again, if you have a nice area on your floor, maybe not the best place to be doing this on a review station, but a nice area on your floor, they're going to be perfectly fine. And it's going to give your child, again, another awesome element of a playability standpoint with this set. So like I had stated, there is just a ton of stuff that you can do with this set as far as kids playing with it. But yet again, even as an adult collector, this is a really cool set. And even if I were to just set this up on my stand here, if I had the room, and display it, it would be a very cool display piece to keep with the, dinosaurs and everything. An incredibly awesome addition, yet again, to my collection from Schleich. Now, the task at hand would be measuring this, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get an actual width on the set or not, because it is pretty huge. So this is a very rough idea of what a width would be. You're looking at about 20.5 inches or around 52 centimeters. Not even close to exact, but that's, roughly what I got for the width in this particular area that I measured it. As far as a height goes, again, it's probably going to be a pretty rough measurement, but you are looking at about the, I'd say 14.5 inch range, or about the 37 centimeter mark, somewhere in that vicinity. Of course, we will check out the dinosaurs here in just a moment as far as the sizes of those go, if you have not seen the initial reviews of the dinosaurs. So for a length on the Giganotosaurus, you were looking at about 9.5 inches, or about 24 centimeters, and then a height about 6 3/4 inches, or right around the 17 centimeter range. And then for the Ankylosaurus, you're looking at, for a length, about 6 1/4 inches, or about the 16 centimeter range. And then for a height, the highest point is definitely the club tail, about 4 inches or 10 centimeters. And then for our human figure here, not really much as far as a width or anything, but for a height, you were looking right around that 3 3/4 inch range, or about the 9.5 centimeter area. And I don't think we really need to give a size comparison when it comes to a set like this, where you already have dinosaurs included, one of which being the Schleich Giganotosaurus, is a fairly popular figure from the Schleich line. So you can see in comparison to the set itself that the figures here before us are very small in comparison to the overall size of this volcano area. So it is massive, and this quite easily shows you that. So on top of having a ton of playability to it, a really cool, very highly detailed appearance, and some beautiful dinosaurs, the entire set is gigantic. So this set from Schleich, it's a brand new 2021 release, is honestly incredible. This is the very first gigantic type of a play set like this that I've ever had the opportunity to enter into my collection from Schleich, and I must say I am extremely impressed. The entire set, again, is huge. Like, really, really big, and it actually has a lot of fun aspects to it even prior to the set being completed. Like when you're actually putting it together, it's actually a lot of fun to put the set together. It definitely takes a little bit of time to do so, and was certainly a joy to build prior to finishing this review. But once you actually get the set together, again, it is very visually impressive. It is huge. And of course, you get two really cool dinosaurs with the set, as well as a human character, which really is the icing on the cake as far as the set goes. But the set has just a ton of playability as far as different action features go, with the volcano kind of erupting, sending out the rocks. I love the fact that some of the rocks actually have that glow to them where they light up to help add that really cool lava-like look to it. And then you also have the button on the side that lights up the actual lava running down the side of the volcano, which is also really cool. And then on top of that, they had to add even more into it as they gave you that area of sound with the set where you can kind of push it, get that really cool prehistoric sound with some dinosaur roars, and then also that little area where the steam comes out of the top. Really cool stuff on the part of Schleich. I really think that was an excellent addition to this set. And then you have the area where the volcanic rocks can kind of run down the side so that you have like a almost Indiana Jones type moment where you could be running from the rock. You have the area where the human character can kind of escape and drop down into the caves. You have the caves themselves, which could house your dinosaurs, again giving your Giganotosaurus a really cool creepy area to hide, as well as potentially a place for your Ankylosaurus to hide. You have the actual research station type area itself, which is loaded up with a weapon that does shoot darts. Again, some really nice articulation with that. And then you have crystals on the underside, the lava running down the front. Like, there is just so much to it. Really cool vegetation that circles the entire thing. There is just a ton that Schleich has included into this Volcano playset that honestly blows my mind. Like, it's this kind of stuff that really takes me back to when I was a kid, and honestly would have been something that I would have loved when I was a kid. And again, like I had stated earlier, my son would absolutely, he'd probably actually really like it now, but he would have loved it for sure a few years ago when he was a little younger. So if you have some younger kids at home that are into dinosaurs, trust me when I tell you, this is a set that you need to pick up for them because they will completely go crazy for it. And then, of course, we have newly repainted versions of previously released Schleich dinosaurs with a really cool reddish version for the Giganotosaurus. I really quite like that version of the Giganotosaurus, and it actually might be my favorite one so far of all the different paint variants of this. This is like, I think, the third paint variant of the figure. And I think this might be my new favorite version of it, honestly. Previously, the second version would have been my favorite, the one I had just recently reviewed, but having this one here in hand, I think this one might take the cake. The Ankylosaurus as well is a really cool repaint with a nice greenish paint scheme this time, as opposed to the previously released yellowish version. Yet another really cool looking version of that Ankylosaurus from Schleich. Then we have a really nice human character, nothing over the top or crazy as far as she goes, but she absolutely serves her purpose here in the research station. And again, including humans and dinosaurs, giving you that really cool Jurassic Park feel is definitely a recipe for success, and I feel like Schleich has succeeded completely in creating an absolutely awesome, jaw-droppingly cool playset here. So if you are interested in this, I will include a link in the description to where you can purchase this on the Schleich website. So make sure you head on over there, make sure you purchase this really cool playset from Schleich, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.